Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. All right, my name is E. James John. There's been a very challenging question that we've been wanted to know for a very long time. So today, I brought this question down to a brother and friend and a pastor, and it's no other person than Pastor M.Tommy here with me. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure.
All right, sir. This question is a very challenging question, and some people has been misled for this particular point. And today, I want you to throw more light on this particular question. All right. The question is it a must that a tithe should be paid in church?
Okay, thank you very much. And let me start this way. I think the first thing is for us to understand the meaning of tithing and deception. How did it come into existence? Why did God even ask us to pay tithes? Once we establish that, every other stuff is going to be very easy for us to understand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a pastor. But I sometimes, some years back, I used to pay tithe. I always used to pay 20%. You know,
not even 10% again.
I used to pay 20% because of what I heard, testimonies of people telling you the more you pay, the more you are blessed, and the rest.
Okay, so the thing is, you can pay more, but you cannot pay less.
Maybe that's what it means. Okay, that's what it means. So I took time to really go through the Bible, and I was so curious to understand what tithing is all about. Why do we need to pay tithe? And this fear and guilt that was installed in us, that you don't take out your tithe, you don't joke with your tithe. Once, if your salary is 100,000, your tithe is 10%, that is 10,000, and you dare not touch that 10,000 naira. That's what's called the Lord's portion, according to them.
Okay.
But in all these years of preaching about tithing, only one Bible portion was always read to the church. Malachi chapter 3 verse 10, popularly. Nobody talks about the session of tithing. Nobody talks about how tithing should be done, when it should be paid. Until I read the Bible myself one day, and I realized that we have been doing this thing the wrong way, number one. And number two, that tithe is no more a requisite for blessing in this generation, in this dispensation, because it was meant for a particular set of people called the Levites. The Levites were the children of Levi, not as per title. You must be a descendant of Levi. You must be a child, a grandchild of that man Levi, for you to be a Levite. Now, according to the story, they never had any inheritance. When the land where things were apportioned to other tribes, Levi had nothing. He was dwelling in the church. That was the assignment from God. So, if you find a sweeper, an instrumentalist, a pastor, a gatekeeper, must be in the Levites. Even anyone you find working in the church, what you call workers today, must be a Levite. No other person was permitted to go close to the sanctuary to do anything.
Okay.
So God said, you that is working, you that have inheritance, whatever you have as a produce from your farm, your business, please take 10% out and give to these men, because they have nothing to do. They are not working. That they want keeping the altar. They want protecting, keeping the sanctuary for you. So when you do that, I will bless you in return. It was particularly for Israelites, not even the entire world. Only for the Israelites. Not like what you're doing today. Nigeria does it, Israel does it, Germany does it. It wasn't like that. So let me get back to your question now. Now we have said something.
Yes.
It is not a must, since it is established that even tithing now is not even a requisite for God's blessing. It's not a must that you must take tithe into church. If you say that I must take this tithe to church so that God will bless me, it shows your level of greed, hypocrisy, and manipulation. That means you are trying to manipulate God, saying, for example, I have 1 million naira, and for God to bless me again, I will give God 100,000. That is, God demands on the 10% from you. Hope you get my point.
Yes.
Tithing was not even for God. You don't tithe to God. You don't tithe for God. It wasn't for God. God has no business was starting. It was just helping some set of people. So we say, I give my tithe to God. You are not giving any tithe to God. God doesn't need your tithe. But you get my point.
Yes.
God does not need tithe. Tithe was meant for some people. I'm going to read something for you in the Bible right now for you to understand exactly how tithing came into being. So he said, that is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 14 from verse 22. Be sure to set aside a tenth of all that your fields produce each year. Eat the tithe of your grain. Eat. Don't take it to church. New wine and olive oil, and the firstborn of your heads and flocks in the presence of the Lord your God at the place he will choose as the dwelling place for his name. Eat it. First of all, he has annulled that thing they call the lost portion. They said, don't touch it. He said, eat it, so that you may learn to revere the Lord your God always. Now 24 says, but if that place is too distant and you have been blessed by the Lord your God and cannot carry your tithes because the place where the Lord will choose to put his name is so far away, then exchange your tithe for silver, that is money, and take the silver with you and go to the place the Lord your God will choose. When you get there, not even to drop the money. When you get to the town, it says 26, use the silver to buy whatever you like: cattle, sheep, wine, or other fermented drink. What is fermented drink? Beer, hot drink, whatever, or anything you wish. Then you and your household shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice. Now he says he's now giving you, it's optional. If I should even give it to a pastor, it's optional. Now he says, and do not neglect the Levites. Don't forget them. The Levites now are not everybody in the church. That's the children of Levi. That is people that are like the choristers, the drummer, the workers in the church. Don't neglect them. Don't neglect the Levi living in your towns, for they have no allotment of inheritance of their own. They have nothing. At the end of every 3 years, bring all the tithes of that year's produce and store it in your town, so that the Levites, who have no allotment or inheritance of their own, and the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows who live in your towns may come and eat and be satisfied, and so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. So that was never money. He said, if you're changing it to money, it means where you're the church, the temple you are going to, the synagogue is far. But once you get to the community where the church is, use that money again and buy whatever you like. You are going back with your household and say, Father, thank you for you have blessed us, you have given us this, you have that. Please, we have come to tell thank you. Sit down there and eat. Did you say call Aaron? You don't say call the priest. You don't say talk to anybody.
So in other words, sir, what you're trying to say is that if I have my tithes with me, and for instance, there's someone, a sick person around me who is maybe at the verge of death, or someone who has nothing. So what you're saying is that I can use that my tithes to help that person.
That is why God blessed you, so that you also be a blessing to others. If my salary is 100,000, I have 10,000 at the end of the month, and on my way to church, like what is happening now, so I want to go and pay tithe, and I find that someone has an accident on the road and needs a quick medical attention that requires like 5,000, even all the money, I quickly say, no, this person cannot die. Remember the Good Samaritan?
Yes.
Take him to the hospital, take him to the pharmacy. I'm going to pay the bill. If it doesn't matter if that's the only money I have, I bring that money and I pay the medical bills. I have paid my tithes. I have not done anything wrong, nothing sinful. The only thing they do, the only thing that will make you feel guilty is that consciousness that I've given you that you are not supposed to touch that money. Anybody that tells you that is a thief. It's not in the Bible, because tithe is not money. Now let me tell you what they call the lost portion. The lost portion is the tithe of tithe. If you take a tithe to a Levite,
Okay.
the Levite too should also take a tithe out of that tithe. That's what we call the lost portion. The lost portion is not in your care, it's in the care of the Levites,
Okay.
the priests, the person you are giving to, supposed to keep tithe of tithe. I'm going to show you why God said that. So let's look at the book of, that's 7 Deuteronomy chapter 26.
This is broad. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
From verse 12.
Okay. That's same,
Deuteronomy 26 from verse 12. When you have finished setting aside a tenth of all your produce in the third year, the year of the tithes is the third year. You don't pay every Sunday.
And not every month.
Not every month. It's here. He said the year of the tithes. The last year of the third year is when you pay tithe. So everybody are bringing everything, so they have enough to eat for the next 3 years.
Okay.
You shall give it to the Levites, the foreigner. Foreigner is someone you don't know.
Yeah.
It's from you. So you can help anybody with their tithe. Hope you get the point now.
Yeah.
The fatherless and the widow, so that they may eat in your towns and be satisfied. The prayer for tithing is not Malachi chapter 3 verse 10. He said, I will open the windows of heaven and shower down blessing upon you. It's here. Now listen to what God says. Then say to the Lord your God, now this is the prayer, I have removed from my house the sacred portion and have given it to the Levites, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, according to all you commanded. I have not turned aside from your commands, nor have I forgotten any of them. I have not eaten any of the sacred portion which while I was in mourning, nor have I removed any of it while I was unclean, nor have I offered any of it to the dead. I have obeyed the Lord my God. I have done everything you commanded. Look down from heaven, your holy and dwelling place, and bless your people Israel, and the Lord you have, and the land you have given us as promised on oath to ancestors, a land flowing with milk and honey. The church will never read this portion for you, because if they come here, everything will be known. The church will never read this portion for you.
All right, guys, family. You have heard from our great friend and pastor M.Tommy, the lead pastor of Peace Ark Ministries. This is where we are going to stop today for this question. Trust me, this is a very broad question and something that everybody as a believer is supposed to know about it. And I hope you've learned something today. Till we come your way next time, I remain E. James John. Thank you very much.